It is Friday, November the 26th. Hello and welcome. This is the Greenbrier Valley Church of the Nazarene with your daily devotion. Today we are reading in Genesis chapter 50, verse 1 through 11. Here's the word of the Lord. Joseph threw himself on his father and wept over him and kissed him. Then Joseph directed the physicians in his service to embalm his father Israel. So the physicians embalmed him, taking a full 40 days, for that was the time required for embalming. And the Egyptians mourned him for 70 days. When the days of mourning had passed, Joseph said to Pharaoh's court, "If I have found favor in your eyes, speak to Pharaoh for me. Tell him, my father made me swear an oath and said, I am about to die. Bury me in the tomb I dug for myself in the land of Canaan. Now, let me go up and bury my father. Then I will return." Pharaoh said, "Go up and bury your father as he made you swear to do." So Joseph went up to bury his father. All Pharaoh's officials accompanied him, the dignitaries of his court and all the dignitaries of Egypt. Beside all the members of Joseph's household and his brothers and those belonging to his father's household, only their children and their flocks and herds were left in Goshen. Chariots and horsemen also went up with him. It was a very large company. When they reached the threshing floor of Atad, near the Jordan, they lamentated loudly and bitterly, and there Joseph observed a 7-day period of mourning for his father. When the Canaanites who lived there saw the mourning at the threshing floor of Atad, they said, "The Egyptians are holding a solemn ceremony of mourning." This is why that place near the Jordan is called Abel Mizraim. And that is the word of the Lord. The article today by Carol Rittenhouse is Grace in the Midst of Grief. Here's what Carol writes. While at the end of my first year in seminary, my dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer, the end stage of a cancer he had valiantly fought for years. In one of my hardest decisions in my life, I withdrew from classes for the next year and headed back to my parents' home to spend those last months with my family. Those were difficult days, to be sure. Each of my siblings dealt differently with grief. We got by one day at a time, trying to believe that God was with us. Most of the times, however, we still felt a huge hole in our hearts. It was during this time I came to a new understanding of God's grace. People from our community of faith provided for us in ways that only God knew would bless us. Nurses from our congregation volunteered to take shifts caring for my dad. People brought us meals. We received cards, letters, and phone calls offering prayerful support. God was present in our grief through the lives of Christian sisters and brothers. As Joseph buried his father Israel, a community grieved with him and gave him comfort. God has always called his people to be a vehicle for his grace. The hymn is "The Bond of Love" by Otis Skillings. We are one in the bond of love. We have joined our spirits with the Spirit of God. And from the book of Romans, chapter 15, verses 1 and 2, we find this. We who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Each of us should please our neighbors for their good, to build them up. And this is your daily devotion for Friday, November the 26th. Have a blessed day.